Welcome back to our transition time. We have Andrea from Rain City Games coming up next. We're just working on getting her up on the screen. We hope you're having a great day, playing some good games. If there's anything you've been playing, let us know in the Twitch chat. We'd love to talk about it quickly before we bring Andrea up. What else can I talk about? As always, if you want to support our show, just go to terminalcitycon.ca. You can buy these spiffy 2021 t-shirts with our Sasquatch on them that can be picked up at either Rain City location. We can ship them to you, or you can come pick them up in Alder Grove, which is where we're located. You can be a patron, get a patron ticket. What else? Support our sponsors. Obviously, we have some awesome sponsors, including Rain City Games, Adventure Dice, Strategy Games and Hobbies, and the RPG Marketplace. So check them out.
And you can even get Adventure Dice at Rain City Games.
You can even get Adventure Dice at Rain City Games.
And get our cool retail packaging. Pretty awesome.
All right, it looks
in
like...
Vancouver. I don't know if you can get it in New West yet.
Looks like we have Andrea up ready to go. So I will pass it over to Andrea. Oh, I'm apparently still on the screen. Do.
All right, Andrea, you're up. You're on.
Hey there. To answer that last question, yes, you can get limited Adventure Dice at New West, but we can always shuttle things back and forth between those two locations, just in case somebody comes up. Yeah, so I'm Andrew. I suppose I should put a camera at me. Hello. I have a complicated camera setup, but I'm Andrea from Rain City Games. My husband Channing and I co-own Rain City Games. We have two locations in the Vancouver area, one in downtown Vancouver and then one in New Westminster inside the River Market.
And today we're going to be playing kind of a modified version of The Quiet Year, which is a role-playing game, a cartography-based or a map-based role-playing game by Avery Adler. Avery Alder, I always get that messed up, who is a Canadian RPG designer. And this is one of their really cool titles. This is probably my favorite, although ask any staff member and you'll get some different responses. But all of their RPGs are really interesting and innovative, and this one's no different. This one again is kind of a map-based RPG. So we're going to be building around this very hopefully familiar looking strange outline and making it into a little community here. Now this is meant to be interactive, so I am actually watching the Twitch chat, and please do contribute ideas. I will do my best to actually draw them onto the map here and work them into our story as we go. So The Quiet Year, as the name would suggest, is about a year. It tends to be rather quiet. Basically, you are a community that is in a place, and you have to adapt to various challenges that come up during the year. And speaking of places, because this is so place-centric, I should mention that this place does represent one of the areas where we do our work and play, which is on the ancestral unceded lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. And then our New West store is on the Kakite First Nations traditional lands. So with that in mind, I am going to read a little bit just to kind of get the basics of this game's rules down, and then we will hop in. And I've lost my page. Oh no. There we go. Okay. So the basic story, for a long time, we were at war with the jackals. Now, finally, we've driven them off and we're left with this, a year of relative peace. One quiet year with which to build our community up and learn again how to work together. Come winter, the frost shepherds will arrive, and we might not survive the encounter. This is when the game will end, but we don't know about that yet. What we do know is that right now, in this moment, there's an opportunity to build something. So this is our map. I've started it out just in the interest of time. Normally a game of the Quiet Year takes about 3 to 4 hours to play, but we are trying to squeeze all that goodness into about 2 hours. So I've abbreviated a few things and started the map for us. I will be adding features onto the map based on where our story goes. This over here, our turn summary. Oh, camera, there we go. There, our turn summary. These 3 actions on a turn represent 1 week. So we will play a card, and I'll get to the cards in a moment, adjust the dice. These dice here, plain D6s, we won't be rolling them as you normally do in RPGs. Instead, they're going to represent kind of countdown timers as projects and other things move along. And then finally, take an action. And that's where we'll decide to add something else to the map, discuss something as best we can through chat, and choose to start projects. Let's see. As I mentioned, we are playing an adapted version. So normally if you're all seated around a table chatting with each other, there would also be these super cool contempt tokens. They're like little skulls that you kind of passive aggressively put in front of you if you disagree with decisions that are made in the game. But that's really hard to track through Twitch and through remote video. So we're going to skip that. So you can just seethe quietly on your own. And then finally, the deck here. So there's a deck of cards, and this represents all the challenges that will come up through the year. On each side, there's, well, on the other side here, there's different challenges that'll come up through each of the 4 seasons as we go through the year. So we'll go spring, then summer, fall, winter. And the very last card, spoiler alert, is the frost shepherds arriving and the game ending. So we are going to get to that point. Each turn in each week goes pretty quickly, so don't be put off by how tall the deck is. That's about it. Any other details I'll fill in as we go. One last thing. This game can get, as with most other RPGs, can adapt to what sort of circumstances and ideas you want to put into it. Typically, this is seen as sort of a post-apocalyptic survival game, and in some regards it is. But because this has been a challenging year, I am going to try to steer things more towards the optimistic, upbeat, even silly side. So yeah, I'm going, even though this is like a real world map and suddenly there's not a lot of people here, it's a mystery. We're not going to get into it. The point is we have a group of 60 to 80 people in our community, and we're just going to go forward and do our thing. So I will do some slight editing if things start getting a little too crunchy. All right. Let's see what chat. Nope. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start off. We need a name for this community. And then we're going to talk about the resources that we're starting out with. And where to go? There it is. So I'm going to let you start filling in names in the chat. In the meantime, I came up with a few different abundances. We're going to have 1 abundance and 3 scarcities. An abundance is a resource that you have tons of, basically unlimited supply, whether that's helpful or not. Scarcities are things that, boy, we wish we had more of, but we don't. And they do actually have to have some meaning. So if, gee, we don't have a lot of gems and jewels right now, if that doesn't actually matter to your community, then that doesn't really count as a scarcity. So think of things that a community might want, they would have trouble getting. Not that they don't have it, but just, it's a little more onerous to procure. In the meantime, I've set up a few potential abundances. Number 6 is that I'm going to toss it to you, but we'll see what the dice says. Number 1, piles and piles of something the folks before us called compass cards. So somebody has stumbled upon, let's say, a container ship's container full of crates and boxes and cases of these little plastic rectangles. We don't know what they do. We don't know what they could be used for, but boy, do we have a ton of them. So we are abundant in compass cards. Let's see. Do we have any cool names? Cloud Turtle, the gamer community, very on topic. The Meeples, although the Eeples, that's not bad either. TCTC, excellent. I think that's in regard to. Okay. I kind of like TCTC. That just makes a certain amount of sense. So I will go ahead and start writing that on here. And please do, folks watching at home, please do add ideas for scarcities, resources that we wish we had more of, but we don't. The apocalypse was caused by a container ship blocking a canal for many months. That just happens, doesn't it? It's so weird. Filled with compass cards. No, we already got the compass cards. It dropped them off, then it got stuck. All right, our proud community of TCTC. All right, grain, sheep, wood, and brick are the only scarcities that I'm seeing so far. Lack of rain. I don't know, would that be true TCTC without it? Scarcity of bike parts, everything is rusty. Okay, all right, so let's do lack of dice. That is a crisis. Let's do a lack of brick. Okay, how are we gonna do this? So we have a lack of brick, lack of bike parts. I like that. And yeah, we can do lack of rain. Let's try scarcity. Rain. And then our abundance was compass cards. So because this is meant to be more of a art-based cartography kind of thing, I am going to start drawing those in off screen. So somewhere in here we found crates. They're just everywhere. Okay, and then we'll just keep bike parts and rain and brick in mind. Great. So unless anybody has any questions or anything, I'm gonna see what our first week has in store. So where does everybody sleep? Who is unhappy with this arrangement and why? This is a family show, so there's that. Also, where are our people staying? What sort of community arrangement do we have set up? Well, I would think that there's some kind of encampment somewhere. Maybe put some houses over here. You know, it'd be kind of funny is if the houses were like shingled with compass cards. Because we have so gosh darn many and they're water resistant. Not that it rains much, but you know, just in case. They don't know that yet. They've just settled here. So I'm going to do that. Do a little Monopoly hotel with a bunch of compass cards. Let's give them a little fire pit, why not? Go have a barbecue. Compass cards would offer very little insulation. That is true. Fortunately, it's spring, but that is something to keep in mind. Laminate compass cards, the ultimate building material. Discontent, yeah, cold. What we need is shade. Well, so how would we do that? Not a lot of shade. There's planting trees or there could be trees around. Let's give us at least a starter tree here. Heck yeah, kindergarten tree skills. Also, maybe we get a cool like awning coming out here. Little porch kind of situation. I don't know if that's something could like, I don't know. We're industrious. We can figure out how to put compass cards on those things. Truly a fine tapestry. All right. What are we carrying them about? Well, I mean, they're there and we've gone exploring and it just seems like a waste to not use them. I don't know. I'll have to come up with a reason for that. Okay, so we've played a card. Adjust the dice doesn't matter right now. That'll be for next turn. Discover something new, hold a discussion, start a project. Okay, so we've gotten to this point. We need to figure something out. Now I'm imagining people weaving compass cards into baskets for compass cards. How about we make that a project? We are going to do basket weaving 101 with compass cards. So here we'll have a little, we'll do a little workshop over here. We got some nice long tables with like boxes on them There's our little cards inside. And we're going to turn them into baskets with and for compass cards. Excellent. Every time I get on SkyTrain from here on out, this is all I'm going to think about. Okay, so let's see. Turning piles of compass cards into baskets of compass cards. It'll probably take a couple of weeks. I'm going to put a timer of 2 on that because we have other things to do. We're not just doing this. Get focus going. But yeah, in our downtime, we're going to be working on those cards. All right, let's see what happens next week. Play a card. So a charismatic young girl convinces many to help her with an elaborate scheme. What is it? Who joins her endeavors? Start a project to reflect. Need to find a herd of buses. That is an elaborate scheme. Buses with reindeer decorations. Ooh, the elusive ones. Those are the like shiny Pokemon. Not just any bus, reindeer bus. Free roaming buses terrorizing the plains. Well, I mean, charismatic young girl, elaborate scheme. We got to find those reindeer buses. Not sure why. We'll figure that out later. But surely they are in the woods somewhere. So let's get us some woods going. And maybe we are going down a path into the woods. For those elusive buses. Who would join her? I'd say, get a good group going. Melting some of the compass cards in the fire pit, huffing the fumes. Given our choices so far, that may not be so far off. Well, depends how successful they would be in finding those buses, but I'd say put a 2-week timer on that one as well. That's enough time to either find reindeer buses or realize that this girl is leading us astray. Meanwhile, this previous project, it's been a week, so we're like halfway to basket plenty over here at the main camp. Let's go to the next week. All right. So are there distinct family units in the community? If so, what family structures are common? Do we have like extended families going? Are they all under one roof? Or is this more of like every person for themselves kind of situation? Or is it like one giant house, or obviously 2 giant houses with everybody crammed inside? How are we polycules? Board gamers stick together in a group. I mean, strategically, yes. Anybody who's played other role-playing games knows you do not split the party. Maybe these guys haven't played RPGs, but yeah, we can keep everybody together as far as family goes. Work best in groups of 4. That's true. 4 to 5. You got your Carcassones and Ticket to Rides. Crafter, hunter, yeah, worker placement. This is totally a worker placement thing. Okay, so we've got households of 4 or 5. You can get the optional expansion to get a little bit more on the side here. Here, these guys got the Kickstarter edition, so you got more housing in the back. It's like shiny or something. They got foil, and you can put a couple extra people inside. Those are beds, clearly. Sweet. Because that means we have another house coming. Just for, completion's sake. Awesome. So meanwhile, our basket project has drawn to an end. We now have baskets aplenty. So many baskets. So many baskets. And yeah, why don't we say that some of them have been, heated over the fire to sort of meld and melt all of the compass cards together into more of a waterproof sheeting thing. So that's great. We can carry buckets of water around, more compass cards, obviously. We're sitting pretty as far as storage goes, and storage is key with games. Let's say some industrious fellow. Well, you know what? How about this week's project? Make ourselves some calyx shelves, because no gaming community would be complete without calyx. And this is to scale, by the way. There's like an enormous monument to Swedish gaming over here. So because it's so large and we gotta get the trees going, I'm gonna call that a 4-week project. That's good. Meanwhile, we're still traipsing about the woods in search for things. We distract the jocks with the reindeer bus hunts. Perfect. Yes, these are our Cards Against Humanity players off in the woods telling cool jokes. All right. There's another community somewhere on the map. Where are they? What sets them apart from you? Well, I think we're starting to get into gaming factions over here. We got what, Euro gamers and chance-based gamers. I'm not going to use my pejorative term for that. Or we could have party gamers and not party gamers, tabletop, RPG players versus the Euro gamers. That could be interesting. Okay, so the RPG folks, I'm going to put them over in kits. I mean, this is totally not Vancouver, so this land down here where I have a lot of white space. And they got to have weird houses. Maybe not that weird. My art skills are okay, but not great. Just gonna give them a different style. Are we Ameritrash or Euro gamers? We've switched to RPG versus strategy games. So my mic's in the camera. Co-op game. Well, in theory, we're all co-op gamers in our own ways. But yeah, these guys are playing a little too much D&D. So maybe we've got shields and stuff, also made out of compass cards, obviously, but they're just, going for style points over here. So we got a armor rack. We got a plastic sword. That's cool. Another shield for symmetry. Perfect. This guy's got windows. He's cool. All right. So this is RPG land and Eurogamers. Excellent. I'm sure they'll get along great. Ooh. Oh, and I forgot to reduce our timers. So the monument to Calyx is on its way. Meanwhile, our reindeer crew has returned. What do you think? Did they find any? The LARPers, so much foam armor. Yes. Foam and compass cards. So what's the thumbs up, thumbs down on the reindeer bus? Do we have one lurking in the woods, buses, but not reindeer? Well, sure. I mean, we have buses just kind of laying around. That's, oh God, how do you draw a bus? But you know, the bus. Buses, by the way, are loaves of bread on wheels with many windows. Half of the people did not come back. At least a breeding pair of reindeer buses. Somebody's got to tell Dennis how buses work. All right. Yeah, fine. We got ourselves a reindeer bus. Does he have like eyes up here? I forget what they look like. I know they have the giant nose on the front. I don't have a red pen, but he's gonna have pink nose. I think they have like little antlery things up here too. Cool. Just kind of broken down. I'm gonna make one of these wheels flat because we are not driving reindeer buses around our town. Sorry. Because remember, we have a scarcity of bike parts, so it means that those sorts of things are more important. But yeah, broke down reindeer, just chilling here in the forest. Comes back a triumph. Suburbs. Typical bus, just end up stranded at the end of the line, start a new settlement. Well, you know, we could build something around that. Anyway, our young boy started digging in the ground, discovered something unexpected. What was it? And I really will leave that to when we find the bike parts, we can drive the reindeer bus. Well, if you want to make that a project, we could hollow out the reindeer bus and put in bike parts. So it's like this, you know, tandem bike monstrosity that, you know, a lot of people can bike away at. Sort of like those booze cruise bikes that you sometimes see around Portland and Seattle. That could be fun. 60 of us in the downtown area. The suburbs are fast and scary. Yeah. Limited Kickstarted edition of the last game published. Ooh, I like that. Okay. So let's say, I think appropriately over here, there's this place that used to be a shop or something. I don't know. It definitely didn't look like this. But in the rundown ruins of said place, look, it looks like a castle. There is the last board game ever, but like the fancy collector's edition. So in theory, everything's a collector's edition at this point. What game do you think would be like the last board game ever published? What would be a good board game to go out on? Because obviously it would not have been published yet, but what is the iconic game? Catan. Apocalypse of Catan. There you go. I was thinking like yet another Monopoly, because you know those things apparently have staying power. Suburb Monopoly. Munchkin. Oh God, Munchkin. No. I think as a game store owner, I'm supposed to be like, every game is wonderful, you guys. But all right, I think Catan. Oh, Catanopoly. Well, yeah, obviously it would be that one. Again, I don't have a red pen, but here it has the big sun on the front. That's cool. So there we go. We have found the Kickstarter edition, final version of Catan Monopoly. Ta-da! It's wonderful. Okay, well, we've already established that children exist, because we have now had a young boy and a young girl lead us to exciting discoveries. But are there children in the community? If there are, what is their role in the community? Apparently distractions. But what do you say? What are children doing in this gaming community? Scorekeepers. Oh man, kids are rules lawyers, I tell you. Except for games like Pokemon, where they don't actually learn the rules. We can force them to play when we need a fourth player. That would work. I kind of like the scorekeepers one though. I think we may do scorekeepers. So there we go. We have established that children are leading the way in keeping track of who is winning. Not sure what game they're tracking, but they know. They know. All right. Someone new arrives. Who? Did I update the dice last round? No, I didn't. I was a week behind. Who has arrived? Jesus. A dungeon. Oh, yes, a dungeon master. Now, obviously, the dungeon master would probably be drawn more to the RPG community. That said, it would be more interesting if you showed up among the Eurogamers, like, okay, I'm going to tell you how to do your stuff, guys. That could be fun. So yes, let's say a dungeon master emerges from the direction of the reindeer bus. Maybe he was seeking it as an ancient relic and then stumbled out to the nearly complete calyx shelves in the center of the land. A dungeon master arrives on scene. Okay. Actually, so with that, our calyx shelves have completed. They are now a prominent, very prominent fixture in the middle of our fair land. Just kind of give them the final polish they deserve. Excellent. I'm going to leave the squares open in case we decide to get fancy later, but they are here. All right. What's the most beautiful thing in this area? You must face the gazebo alone. Well, not enough to hold our entire collection, and he sit on top. So true. Well, I mean, since we're still high on the success of our new calyx shelves, I'm really leaning towards that, but giant Rubik's Cube, ooh, we could consider building one of those. I mean, it does, unless you're trying to say that looks like a giant Rubik's Cube, which you're not wrong. I would just draw the same thing with a couple more lines. A gazebo, a wild gazebo, majestic, mythical, dangerous. The old SkyTrain tracks. Yeah, could have that kind of twisting along. Now it's actually underground for most of this region, but over here it kind of pops out near stadium. So let's call this, I'm just going to put a big oval in as a placeholder, and then SkyTrain kind of whoosh off. And if I may make a suggestion, this is not my suggestion, I'm just okay. So my suggestion is, what if there is a giant mysterious orb out there? perspective to not go well there. I'm not going to put the lines on it because things will go badly. But yes, mysterious orb just sort of is positioned around the front of the water there. Nobody knows where it came from. Oh, a D100, obviously. Yes, it's a D100. I mean, it's still mysterious, but it has 100 sides. Oh, maybe I do have to put sides on. No, I'm not going to put sides on it. Just imagine it's D100. It's been numbered at some points in the past. BC place dice tray. Yes. See, the walls needed to be higher. Engineers, when will they learn? Okay, we are now entering summer. Boy, we haven't been following the rules on building things. Okay. So the eldest among you is very sick. Caring for them and searching for a cure requires the help of the entire community. I'm not going to name an ailment, but let's say the dungeon master that has graced us with their presence is very sick, and so everybody is kind of keeping an eye out for them / hustling them on over to the Kitsilano side of the water because they need to be with their people. Maybe we can have maybe we can start building a path between the two. I don't know if that's inviting trouble, but again, this is, I think there's supposed to be a bridge here. So if it pleases the group, let's consider starting to build a bridge, you know, in the spirit of cooperation. It's a co-op game, right? Which bridge is that? Now, bridges are complex, so I think. Chill, bud. Sorry. If you've ever wondered what an asthmatic cat looks or sounds like, there's your answer. Okay. So the eldest among us is sickly, and we're trying to get him to cross the water. Yeah. Here we go, kids. A headstrong community member decides to put one of their ideas in motion. Start a foolish project. I'm going to scroll back through the comments, see if anybody has suggested anything extra foolish previously that we can work on. Alternatively, put your ideas in. Digging where the kids found the Kickstarter for more games. Well, if that building is what I think it is, they're going to find something. Move the sphere back into the dice bowl. I love it. Yes. Building a game with 500 minis at release weekly. Well, I mean, yes, or one of those Kickstarters that has like 500 minis that did it really need that many? But I love the idea of getting the D100 back into what clearly must be a dice tray. What else could it be? So yeah, we're gonna undertake that and figure out how that's gonna work. It's gonna require some resources, but that's fine, right? Well, it's summer. The weather, oh, no, that's, no, Previous turn. Okay, now that's down to 5. That's 6. It's like, I do that in every game. The weather is nice, and people can feel the potential all around them. Start a new project. Using the compass card buckets to cook over the fire. I mean, I think you'd find out the results of that project pretty quickly, but still, you know, our finest Eurogaming engineers probably should look into that. Let's do that. Tell you what, I'm going to put that down in RPG land. So we got our, I'm going to give them a nice big, like, hearth of a fire. Maybe they've appropriated some of the baskets that the Eurogamers have made. So we got one of those. I don't know, chain or something. And yeah, we'll see how that works for them. I'm sure it'll go great. Smell super appetizing. R&D takes work, but it does seem like something you'd get results on pretty quickly. So we'll just stick with that. Do compass cards have microchips and metal inside them? Yes, they do. They have a little bit of, I imagine, coppers in it. Yeah, it's RFID chips. So it is a minuscule amount of metal, but yes, there's metal inside. Intriguing question. Predators and bad omens are afoot. What measures do you take to keep everyone safe and under surveillance? Do not reduce project dice this week. Not sure what kind of surveillance we got going here, but what measures are we taking to keep everybody in our communities safe? Well, let's see. Over here, hopefully they're like wearing hard hats and stuff like that. So, but as far as external threats, maybe you got, I don't know, some guy perched up on top of our ferrocalyx shelves. Email everyone assurances. The Kickstarter's delayed. So we got this ship. It's not going well. Yeah, I don't know what Kickstarters you all sign up for, but we do a few Kickstarters through our store, and they all go to my email. And I think the record for the number of updates that I've received for a single project is over 120. And they just keep coming. And there comes a point where you're like, dude, I get it. Don't care, just give me the game. So yeah, emailing everybody. I'm not sure how they're getting emails in this community. It seems like, you know, we've gone back to analog because electricity may or may not be a thing, but emails nonetheless. There's just like this mysterious pinging from inside the trees. Message received. And my favorite, do not reduce project dice this week. So I didn't forget. Oof, okay. Kind of want to do both of these, but I'm gonna let the dice choose. So odds, we do the first one. Evens, we do the second one. odds a project fails. Which one? Why? Boy, there's some good candidates over here. Is it cooking with compass? Is it putting the ball back in the hole? Or is it the actually useful project of the bridge, the bridger? Yeah. Make the buses into a jail? Sure. Dice tray not large enough. Melting compass cards seems they're way too flammable, possibly toxic. Oh, everybody mail. Sure. It's like a town crier. I guess we're backtracking to the "you've got mail" coming from your computer. Nobody ever successfully builds a bridge around here. I mean, if you're talking about Vancouver, there's a few of them, but yeah, perhaps in our community, we think we know strategy, but then when it comes to real world application, perhaps not so much. Okay, so we're going to put little caution sign here. Oh, perspective not working. Caution, do not enter. Maybe all of our finest engineers are working on the D100 project. That does sound like a fancy government type project. The D100. Yoink. So do not recommend using that bridge. Alas. Meanwhile, the cooking project and the D100 project proceed on schedule. Summer is a time for production and tending to the earth. Start a project related to food production, which does raise the point that we never have addressed the necessities of life. So water and sanitation be damned. We've got our board gaming supplies. We always have snack food handy. Yeah, they just like, I don't know, grow on trees. Okay, maybe somebody gets on a health kick. They're like, surely we can't eat chips and candy and whatever else everybody's eating all the time. Got to have like an apple or something. Let's have, since they're so interested in cooking down here, let's have our RPG players try their hand at farming. So we're just gonna I don't know if anybody on chat has been playing Valheim, but this is like Valheim right here. Chips, we need chips. Okay, well, maybe somebody gets the bright idea that these will be like chip plants. Yeah, they just like, grow out of the ground and stuff. They come from the genus Pringle. Pretty sure I read that in a book somewhere. All right, you get the idea. I'm not going to color them all in. Better be some dip. Yeah, it could be potatoes. That makes sense. I guess that is what they look suspiciously like carrots. I mean, any root vegetable can, in theory, be made into a chip. We should have been growing, oil plants to just fry everything. Easier to just grow chips. Yeah, cut out the middleman. Just grow chips. That's how it works. Anyway, food production. Well, making the farm probably take a couple of weeks, and then I don't know, chips grow in what, like 2 more weeks? I think that's science. Call that 4-week project. Meanwhile, D100 looking good, and compass card cooking. How'd that turn out? What do you think? Are we trying melting or like fine dining over here? Or both? Maybe it's like melted. It seems like the natural conclusion for this. So maybe it's still like a little bit blue. It's blue, by the way. Totally blue. And then like bad things down here. And we don't speak of it again. Compass card cooking? I don't know what you're talking about. It never happened. We learned how to melt better. And you know what? That will serve us well with food, because you can like melt cheese, you can melt dips, you can melt cheese. What more do you need? Okay. Introduce a mystery at the edge of the map. Okay, I'm gonna railroad this one. So in terms of our mysterious game finds, how about, is it still on camera? Yeah, it's on camera. Down here, somebody finds a copy of Chronicles of Crime, which is a mystery game, but also you play Chronicles of Crime by like scanning QR codes. So you got this game. It seems to make sense, but there's these weird black and white things all over them, and yeah, people don't know what to make of them. So it's like a mystery in a mystery. It's like a mystery turducken. That's cool. Dragon, the airport, the East Van sign. We have working phones still. We do not have working phones still, but we found a copy of Chronicles of Crime with QR codes. So you can't play the game, but you can wonder at it. Maybe somebody, our fine D100 in the dice tray scientists can later turn their attention to decoding the QR codes. It's a mystery. D100, high fives all around. And potatoes looking good. You discover a cache of supplies or resources. Add a new abundance. For reference, our current abundance is compass cards, and that is going great. Our scarcities are brick, bike parts, and rain, which hasn't really come up. I suppose the rain would be causing issue with our potato chip plantation, but meh. So what's our new abundance? Umbrellas. Ooh, that does require. I mean, that actually could be interesting. Umbrellas. Just because, scarcity is rain. But boy, do we have umbrellas. I like that. Yeah, so about the ruins of the place, there are now just umbrellas friggin' everywhere. Just all over. Nobody knows where they came from. Well, that's not true. Everybody knows where they came from, but also they're everywhere. There's one like hanging out with the bus because he's cool. Maybe our Kickstarter edition has an umbrella too. Why not? They paid money. They deserve it. They're like tumbleweeds. Just umbrellas. A nice foldy one hanging on our armor rack. Yeah, wherever you look, umbrellas have suddenly come out. They could become tiny boats. So many umbrellas, they block all the rain, but there's no rain to begin with. New project, water resistant clothes, but there's no rain. Granted, this is meant to be a body of water kind of snaking through the middle, so it could still be relevant. We were too prepared. It never rains when you have an umbrella. Must collapse the umbrellas to bring back the rain. Now that is scientist thinking. It makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, this is why it's not raining. There's umbrellas everywhere. We may need to look into that. That and that. Okay. Crisis, folks. First of all, it's autumn. Second of all, somebody sabotages a project and the project fails as a result. Who did this and why? Well, we have 2 official projects underway, although there's some things that probably should have been made projects. Which is it? Is Operation D100 or Operation Potato Chipping? The Eurogamers dislike the D100. It scares them. They sabotage. It would be pretty intimidating. And it's kind of on their side of the water. Like, it seems like the sort of thing that would be better suited on this side, but obviously they're encroaching on Eurogamer territory. They do not like randomness. That's true. That is very, I don't want to say Ameritrash, but a little bit Ameritrash. Okay. Alas, disaster has struck the D100. I'm going to leave my magical orb over here, but perhaps in the night the dice tray collapses. It just sort of splats outward. So the sides are now like and it will never hold another die again because it absolutely did to begin with. That's how these things work. A monument to hubris or something. Yeah, video's fine on my end. No, we cannot roll the dice. That which has been rolled cannot be rolled again. Potato chips, however, looking good. We should start another project just in case, like, you know, we need to. In theory, we're supposed to be starting projects routinely. What else? There was decoding Chronicles of Crime. There's going on a giant umbrella hunt, although I have doubts about the potential success. D100 was too ambitious. We should have started smaller, a D4. Perhaps our RPG team over here, or RPG sub-community, took offense to the sabotage that they are pretty sure was Eurogamer related. So maybe in memoriam, they start building a large D4, which is triangular based. Oh, I should have put the 1 in this corner. I don't know how to do an upside down 3. Look, you get the idea. May it inspire us in this time of need. Also, it will probably take about 5 weeks to get going. Let me know if you want to do any other projects. Like, yeah, just put it in the chat here, and we can work on that. The next week. A project just isn't working out as expected. Radically change the nature of this project, but don't modify the project dice. When it resolves, you'll be responsible for telling the community how it went. So these projects are still going, plus whatever projects we're adding in the chat here. Finding out how to carbonate beverages, we can have gamer juice. I like that. I like that a lot. I will retcon that into the previous turn. Sorry, dropping pen caps. Let's get that going over here. We'll make a nice little Erlenmeyer flask for it. Just like a giant vat. Mysterious gamer juice. And maybe like a really long straw, because it seems like that's how you would get bubbles in there. Bendy straw, obviously, because that's science. Cool. Yeah, that's our little workshop here. Make that like a 3-week project, you think? Cool. it's green, sir. Okay, so project isn't working out as expected. Radically change the nature of this project. We discovered that in order to get chips, we must first grow potatoes. Maybe accidentally, we've been growing potatoes this entire time, and we weren't trying to grow healthy food, but here we are. Now we've got like dirt full of health food, and that is the worst. So great news, everyone. The diet food's ready. And that's just working along there. Okay. A small gang of marauders is making its way through local terrain. How many are there? What weapons do they carry? Oh, I've seen this one a million times, but I can't remember exactly how it's drawn. Whatever. Fishermen carrying tiny hooks. Sure, sure. But I think we all know what this has to be. It's from Root. Get it? Yeah, maybe he's got bike chains. All right, wouldn't want to meet this guy in a dark alley. So how many are there? Well, I mean, canonically there's only one, but he could have friends. Bike chains. Bandit. What's he looking to steal? Looking for the rest of the bike. Well, anyway, he's going to be a menace in the southern area of our map. See if he comes back. And the D4 continues, and science. Okay. Good news. Harvest is here and plentiful. Add an abundance. Oh, I forgot to write the first one in. So, what was it? Oh yeah, umbrellas. And I mean, I'm thinking potatoes because of our accidental health kick. But do you think something else would be a better fit? Who wants our umbrellas to make shift some wheels? Yeah, we could have them like accumulating umbrellas. Got like a little pile of umbrellas going here. If I knew how to draw a trench coat, he'd have like a trench coat of umbrellas hanging out. But I do not, so he does not. Bike chain umbrella gang. A wild herd of cows for the butter. Ooh. Fries. We know how to melt butter. Cheese fries. Heck yes. I mean, maybe the potatoes themselves, since it was a harvest. Yeah, we'll do cows. There's lots of cows in Vancouver. Whole lot of cows. Till the cows come home. Okay, so of the two projects that are underway, the community becomes obsessed with a single project. I'm not going to show you the two options. Well, the repercussions of the two options. Either they decide to take more time to ensure that it is perfect, or they drop everything else to work solely on it. Do you think they are focusing all of their attention on gamer juice and the trying to seek out carbonation and its secrets, or the in memoriam D4 to highlight the loss of their beloved D100. All hail the D4. I don't know. Looks like D4's got it. Okay. Well, since it is, a monument to perfection of the whatever the heck that shape is, perhaps they decide to take more time to ensure that it is perfect, which means that they add 3 more weeks. Meanwhile, Gamer Juice is ready. I don't know if it's actually carbonated. It turns out it was just some guy like blowing as hard as he could into the straw, and it's like temporarily carbonated. That's the same thing. Anybody want to start any new projects? Seeing if I have missed any. Don't think I've missed any. It was just a jacuzzi full of sugar water. Great. That sounds disgusting. Okay, well, after last week's inspiration, turns out a project finishes early. I mean, we can tell which one. It's that one. Why? Just because the glory and the majesty of our D4 here. Or maybe it has like one of them swirly designs, because those dice are cool. Got a bit of green. A little more green down here. Awesome. Yeah. Got a D4 and they don't. That makes us cooler. Metal D4 made of all the metal extracted from the melting of the compass cards. Ooh, I like that. I mean, I was thinking that was plastic from the compass cards, but maybe it's got some metal going too. Okay, well, tell you what. Maybe they were building that and they were nearing completion and have now completed it. But the other side, the Eurogamers, were like, that's not cool. We got Calyx. I mean, that's like just a little pointy thing. So perhaps they have decided to up their game. And now they're tackling a D6, perhaps, got the D4 covered. So let's get on to the next shape. It's even bigger. And this one is made of metal from the insides of all those compass cards they melted down for the first one. It's got sort of a coppery look to it. Anyway. Sort of a golden look there. And, considering the sun comes in this way when it, from this angle, when the sun is setting, the sunset gleaming off the shiny surfaces here, it just looks marvelous. It's truly an inspiration. I mean, the D100 was great and all, but look, it's golden. That's cool. Okay. Autumn continues. Someone issues a dire warning, and the community leaps into action to avoid disaster. What is the warning? Start a contentious project that relates to it. Project boats because the bridge is too dangerous. perhaps there was a dire warning about I don't know, having a divided community. We all got to stick together, you guys. A flood is coming. Well, yeah, that warning. Is it a rainstorm? Yes, yes. I know you aren't familiar with it, people, but at times water comes from the sky. Your little umbrellas will help, but only so much. Okay, so there's a big rainstorm coming, and we are going to start what is known as a boat. Yeah, we can make it look like our friend the container ship. What do they look like? Because what this area needs, rather than a bunch of little, you know, these little ferries going back and forth, you just need like a big honking boat. Maybe the reason it's contentious is because we made it so big and there's still a dilapidated bridge blocking that part of the water off. Planning went well, okay? Yeah, you walk across it like a bridge. If only you could like figure out a way to make a container ship get stuck into two sides at once. We'll get our scientists on that later. Maybe we'll put a couple of containers on there just to, you know, get the point across. Nice. Boats are easy to make, right? 4 weeks? We'll do 4 weeks. Hey, I can see my Kickstarter from here. Yep, it's that one. Okay. Meanwhile, our golden cube is 1 week closer to completion. Ah, winter is here. Now is the time to conserve energy and resources. A project fails, but you gain an abundance. Just bolt all the little mini ferries. Maybe that's what happened. We were trying to bolt all the little mini ferries together into one big ferry. It didn't work out. It was a bad plan. But as a result, we now have an abundance of mini ferries. Like they are plaguing the region. Just little ferries everywhere. So yeah, you got your little, oh God, did not plan this. Apparently I can draw huge ships just fine, but small ships, no. Maybe they've like made it up here. They're starting to like colonize the northern waters. They're everywhere. Meanwhile, this is like, let's put it up on a rock. Container ships seem to like that. Just to show that it's not actually as functional as we were hoping. Those little wings were too hard to put together. Just in time for pumpkin spice lattes. Oh, winter, yes. Okay. But yes, gain in abundance. I will write down tiny fairies, but like the boat kind. So that tie goes away. Sweet. TCTC is shaping up to be a real serious community. Okay, winter is approaching. What is winter like in this area? How do community members react to the weather? Well, I'm sure with a lot of foresight and planning. And if it manages to snow, like umbrellas kind of shield you from the snow, probably. Have to play games inside. Yes. Winter does have rain, and we are confused. Well, it's been scarce for 3 seasons out of the year. Maybe there is a little bit of rain, and suddenly somebody finds out that compass cards maybe weren't the best building material. Who would have thought? I wouldn't have guessed, but here we are. So yeah, we've got a little bit of rain. Just coming on down. Remember, purple is blue in this world. Yeah, it rains down here too. Why not? Maybe those RPGers like try to play it off like, oh yeah, I know what to do, but they're just making it up. All the buses gather in one spot because they are stuck. Or maybe they like gather for warmth. That's how buses work. Slow your short attention span. We just forgot what rain was. I like that. It's not currently happening, and we have no object permanence, so it doesn't exist anymore. Perfect. Yeah, suddenly this guy is like the kingpin, our little bandit here, collecting all the umbrellas. He was trying to spin them into bikes, but maybe he's found that actually it's a little bit more lucrative to, hey guys, you wanna buy an umbrella? I'll give him a few gold coins to show that things have gone well. His game strategy is paying off. Good work, bud. Okay. Oh, and the die, come on, progresses. Okay. Someone comes up with a plan to ensure safety and comfort during the coldest months. Start a project related to this. So how are we going to keep warm? What happened to the DMs? And I love that. Yes, of course he was afflicted with analysis paralysis. That's perfect. Love a good pun. Yeah, how are we gonna do this? A giant gaming convention? That could work. Microwavable sweaters. I don't think we've settled whether we have electricity or not. So maybe microwave. I do like the idea of a giant gaming convention. Maybe we can put it up on the point here. I don't know why the RPGers have it. Let's do like a giant pavilion kind of thing. Make it green. This year's TCTC is green, right? These shirts are. I'll put a little fireplace in there. That's nice. Keep everybody warm. Either that or we're getting fumigated. Nice. Compass card axes to chop wood for more insulating house next year. Well, hey, I love that idea. Seems to be like the science region. So how about we over near the forest, because there's woods, we can do a little bit of R&D over here. So let's get the table going with little credit card size axes. Perfect. Just kind of work on that. Seems like a 3-week kind of deal. I'll green up my trees. Finally, a use for a giant umbrella. Yes, it is. It is the meta umbrella. Here, I'll put a little hook kind of hanging over over the fireplace. That's perfect. Little spikes. Waste not, want not, you guys. Just all came together. Oh, as far as the project goes, let's see. Andrea and Blair, it doesn't take long to put on a convention, right? So let's give you like 3 weeks to do that. Oh, and then these guys come down. So fine, I'll give you a little extra time, just they're not all going. Oh, and we just started that. Okay, cool. The next week, you see a good omen. What is it? 2 weeks, you say, well, shoot, all right. So 3 is generous. No. Where this is like a survival game. They don't get 3 weeks then. Okay, what is our good omen? A gopher with no shadow. How the hell do you draw a gopher? Little brown. Put it down here in your 10. Here, near the farming. Seems like something a gopher would be keenly interested in. Do they have ears? Yeah, it's good. Ears. Cool. Unfortunately, this is to scale. So he's really friggin' big. Yeah. Not sure what that's an omen of, but an enormous gopher. Has no shadow. That's good. Weather's probably going to clear up. But now you have an enormous gopher. And that could be problematic or something. Meanwhile, time progresses. Giant mutant gopher. In preparation for the coming year, so that's the next calendar year, the community begins a huge undertaking. Start a project that will take at least 5 weeks to complete. All right, what's our big dream project? We're going to put all of our time and effort and time into it. Well, we could put the gopher on the container ship. Of course, our container ship is very much out of commission. Cheese. No explanation, just cheese. Oh, lots of food somewhere. Okay, I guess that's an explanation. Then again, maybe we're just spending 5 weeks on cheese. Let's do that. Just do a giant. Seems like it should be a round building. Nobody really knows what it is. It isn't necessarily actual cheese. It's just cheese, you know? Like, it's cheese. Why would you ask? I mean, we can work on poutine. That's true. Well, one thing at a time. Beef gravy. You got an abundance of cows apparently somewhere. Yeah, abundance of cows. Seems fortuitous. The gaming convention is open. That's excellent. We're almost at Compass Card Axe territory, and the cube is nearing completion. Someone finds a curious opportunity on the edge of the map. Start a project related to this discovery. Project once the cube is done. Music. All right. Perhaps somebody finds. No, nothing happens. How do we represent music? Somebody finds music. Maybe somebody finds like a bunch of records and tapes and other archaic forms of music. Remember, there's no electricity, so digital files aren't really something that you find. Bunch of like albums and records and tapes, and you're not sure what to do with them, but seem pretty cool. And the obligatory tape with all of its tape out. Yes. Oh, and it's out of shot. Whoop. Hold on. old ukuleles. Yeah, we could have like recorded stuff, but then also finally something useful. It's definitely not a gourd. That, well, call that good. And then the sea shanties began. Make magazine holders from the records. We know not what magazines are or why we need them to be held, but it's a project passed down from the mommy bloggers of the past. Do not awaken the mommy bloggers. I don't know if we say their names 3 times. I think that actually summons them. So let's be careful there. Magazine holders, yeah. So that'd be like one of these sort of cross sort of situations. See, and then you just put your record there. Cool. Little at-home DIY. It's perfect. Ready for magazines whenever we discover those. Excellent. Oh, and as far as the project goes, that's a pretty quick project. Meanwhile, our axe is complete, our cube is complete, and cheese has another 4 weeks. Bad news, everybody. Winter elements destroy a food source. This was your only food source at a scarcity. Yes, so all of you planning how we're going to make poutine. I don't know. I mean, cows are in abundance. That's fine. But maybe we just didn't realize that potatoes, or chip precursors, as we call them, needed to be resown. Like they're sort of a limited thing. So I would say that now potatoes / chips are now a scarcity. Alas, winter is rough. 2, 3. However, those magazine racks are looking great, everybody. And here we are, the final card. The Frost Shepherds have arrived. Our game is over. The quiet year has sort of an abrupt ending. That really is it. Normally, if you had a bunch of people here in person, we could discuss what happened and kind of go from there. But it's a little bit tricky to do under these circumstances. So thanks everyone for playing. We one of the things that the rulebook does say is that you can discuss who the Frost Shepherds were. because they're just identified in the rules as this mysterious entity, and no details are actually given. I'm kind of wondering if maybe the mommy blockers were the frost shepherds. We've now said their names 3 times, so it just makes sense. Otherwise, thank you everyone, especially those who've been participating in the Twitch chat, for all of your great ideas. How long do we have to count up the victory points? As long as you like, although my understanding is that the children will do this for us. So find a young person and ask. Yeah, thanks everyone. I don't know if I'm supposed to be pitching things. The Quiet Year, once again, by Avery Alder. We do have it at the store. The store is Rain City Games / the only place you can find the much vaunted Kickstarter edition of Catan Monopoly. We don't actually have that. Please don't ask. Yeah, thanks everyone. We are playing games tomorrow morning as well. Truth be told, I have not yet decided what
I'm actually playing. I know it says party games, but that was kind of a cop-out because I still haven't decided. But yeah, that's about it for me.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Andrea. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you. Thanks for putting up with our weird game.
Our fun
I gotta say,
city
in defense of the Quiet Year, it's normally a very serious game, a very somber affair.
I quite liked it this way.
Yeah, I took it in a completely different direction. So my humblest apologies to Avery Alder. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Our little quirky town of TCTC.
Yeah. Seems like we're gonna make it, you guys.
Hooray! Awesome. Thanks so much, Andrea.
Cool. Thank you.